This is my presentation on everything I wrote down in my sketchbook. So on Wednesday, we finally made it to Italy. The plane rides were pretty good, other than the one that we were supposed to go from Canada to Germany, but it turned around. It was an awful experience. We were standing around for like 4 hours before getting sent to the hotel. We only got like 3 hours to sleep because of how long we were just standing in the airport. And by the time we got back to the airport, it was like 3 hours after we got to the hotel. So yeah, I was excited, kind of, but I was also very sleep deprived, and because of that, I was angry and wanted to go home. The second part of Wednesday, because that was during the day. It was a fun day. We got to look around the plazas in Florence. After a little quick tour, we were able to go explore. I had a lot of fun looking around at all the different statues and buildings and going to the bridge, despite being so tired. The dinner we had was also very good. Um, I enjoyed spending time with my new friends. After dinner, walking around, and this was the only day in Florence, but everything was really cool to see. On Thursday, we went to Rome. We got to see the Colosseum, the Roman Forum. It was a busy day. Both places were very cool. I had a lot of fun in both of them. Our guide took us to this one spot where we could see all the forum from like above. That was a very beautiful place to go. I thought it was very much worth it, and I was happy that we were able to go. Uh, I also had some dinner. We got a pizza that had been one of the best pizzas I think I've ever eaten, ever. On Friday, this is the day we went to the Vatican. It was really cool to see. The Sistine Chapel was really cool. All the paintings were super cool to see, super interesting. Unfortunately, we weren't able to take any pictures, so I don't have any pictures of the chapel itself. But everything inside of it was really cool. St. Peter's Basilica and like the other places that we saw that day were also all very cool. The Pantheon that we saw was really cool too. It was probably one of the coolest things we saw. But my personal favorite thing that we saw that day was the Trevi Fountain. It was a beautiful fountain. The statues and sculptures were all fascinating. The fountain probably was one of the main highlights of my trip. Uh, After the fountain, my friends and I walked around to different shops until it was time to meet for dinner. The dinner was all kind of pizzas, which were all pretty good, except for the one with just olives and sauce. I'm not a big olive person, so it was a weird pizza to see. On Saturday, we toured the ancient city ruins of Ostica Antica. The ruins were very cool. I liked it a lot. We're walking around for only like 2.5 hours. We only made it to like the center of the city. After that, we had a free day. I didn't do too much because of how tired I was. We were walking around for a long time. We had to get up early so we could leave Rome and get to Athens. So happy we were leaving. Rome was very crowded. I did not really enjoy how crowded it was. Uh, Sunday was the easiest day. It was all just mainly travel, flying. Excuse me, flying from Rome to Athens, and then we took a 3-hour bus drive from Athens to Delphi. Delphi was so peaceful. It was a beautiful place. I enjoyed it so much. It was a lot better than the crowded city of Rome. The dinner we had was also really good. Um, we got to walk around after dinner around the town, look at all the little shops. I got some cool souvenirs. We also got to go to a club, which I thought was pretty cool. But I left because I'm not really like a dancer. I just kind of like sit there and enjoy myself rather than like dancing. On Monday, we got to explore ancient Delphi, which was very beautiful up on top of the mountain. I really enjoyed seeing all the cool stuff there. The Museum of Delphi was also really cool. I liked how small it was because there was a lot of stuff in it from like the ancient world, but it wasn't like super crowded and there wasn't like an overwhelming amount of stuff in it. It was like a nice, calm little place to go. I thought it was really cool to see. After that, we took a 3-hour drive back to Athens. Dinner was even better than the day before. I enjoyed that so much. That dinner was so good. And then we went to the beach at night just to see what it was about. So last thing we did was also very fun to do. On Tuesday, which is the last day of the trip, it was a very busy day because we saw the Pantheon, we saw the Temple of Athena Nike, we saw all these different places that were cool. We had a bus tour, got to see like the first Olympic arena, which was really cool. Seeing all different places around on the bus tour, and then at the end of the day, we went to the Temple of Poseidon, which was probably my favorite place that we saw in Greece. Um, I loved the view of the sea. I thought it was an amazing view. I thought it was very beautiful. And then the dinner we had was also really good. I enjoyed the food a lot. And the sunset that we got to see was also really, really cool. I thought it was very beautiful and a great way to like end the trip was to see the sunset. I was very happy with how the day was, even though it was a very, very long day. My final thoughts was Rome was cool. I loved all the places that we got to see in Rome, but I thought it was way too crowded. I didn't like having to push through the people just to keep up with the group. I don't like when people walk in front of me, like speed up to get in front of me and then walk slow. I think it's really annoying. Um, I loved all the places. The Trevi Fountain was definitely my favorite throughout the whole trip. The Trevi Fountain was probably the coolest, most beautiful thing we saw all trip. I liked Florence. I thought Florence was really nice to see. It's a great like way to start the trip, but I would just wish that we had the full time there due to the plane issues. Um, Delphi was definitely by far my favorite place. I loved how peaceful it was, and I loved how um, calm it was. I loved seeing the stray dogs and cats around. I thought they were really cool. Athens is a close second to being my favorite. I love the city much more than I loved the city of Rome. It was a lot calmer. So overall, I would say the trip was very fun. I enjoyed myself. I had a great time, and I made a lot of great memories. So, what happened to us on the way there when the plane turned around and just sitting there and waiting for hours makes me hesitant if I want to do another school trip. But that's the only thing that would like make me like stop and think. But I probably would. I definitely would consider going on another school trip.